Have you ever wondered why something that takes only a few seconds can completely shift your mood, your focus, and sometimes even how you feel about yourself? Why you feel calm and collected one moment, and then confused, empty, or strangely distant the next? Most people call it a habit, but your brain? It treats it like a story with consequences, one that rewrites itself every time you act. And the truth is, most people never see the hidden patterns shaping their thoughts and emotions. Let's unravel the part no one really talks about, the emotional and psychological mechanics behind it, and why it quietly takes control of your mind. 1. The reset button your brain secretly uses. Right after you finish, there's that sudden shift, almost like someone pressed restart on your mind. Scientists explain that blood rushes straight back into the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for focus, decision-making, and logical thinking. That's why, for a few minutes, everything feels clearer. Your thoughts aren't scattered. Your mind feels quiet, like someone just hit the pause button on chaos. Maybe you've felt it too, that strange sense of, wait, what was I even thinking before? It's real. Your brain just rebooted. And it's not only mental, your body responds too. Heart rate slows, muscles relax, breathing evens out. It's a fleeting calm that feels almost unnatural in a world that never stops moving. Sometimes this calm is comforting. Other times it's disorienting, like looking at the world from a different angle and realizing you've been living on autopilot. Your brain gave you a reset, but it also forces you to face yourself for a few moments. That's why the clarity can feel both liberating and scary. If stories like this resonate, feel free to share what you think in the comments so more people can discover insights like these. 2. When it becomes a way to hide from pain. Here's where it gets deeper. Most people don't do it simply out of boredom or curiosity. For many, it's the fastest way to silence something inside. Something uncomfortable, unwelcome, or even painful. Stress, loneliness, fear, jealousy, memories they never processed. For some, it's not desire, it's escape. A coping mechanism formed over time, sometimes linked to early trauma, unspoken anxiety, or unresolved emotions. And here's the twist. The brain is a master at learning shortcuts. Every time it experiences relief from emotional pain, it wants to repeat it. So negative emotions become triggers, not because you consciously want the act, but because your brain wants numbness, peace, or quiet. That's why the cycle can feel automatic, like it's beyond your control. And it's far more common than most admit, hidden in plain sight, yet rarely discussed. Imagine sitting alone after a stressful day. Thoughts racing, tension in your body, and then a moment of relief that feels instant. That relief isn't just physical, it's emotional. Your brain registers that as safety, even if it's temporary. 3. The chemical cocktail that hooks you. Every repetition triggers a chemical response: dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, a flood of happiness chemicals that the brain interprets as reward. But too much dopamine rewires your brain. Neural pathways strengthen in ways that increase craving, not because your body truly needs it, but because your brain has learned that this is the fastest way to feel relief. It's a loop, a pattern, a habit disguised as pleasure. And here's the truth: the brain doesn't judge. It doesn't care about morality, guilt, or shame. It only cares about efficiency. Quick relief, instant calm. Over time, this can make breaking the cycle extremely difficult. You may start noticing triggers everywhere: stress, boredom, sadness, all pointing to the same automatic response. And every time you resist, your brain experiences tension. That's why the pull can feel so strong. If this breakdown adds value, supporting the channel with a quick like or follow helps keep more analysis-driven content coming. Thank you. 4. Stress relief or warning sign. For some, it remains harmless. A few moments of calm after stress, tension, or anxiety. But for others, it becomes heavier. A cycle that feels impossible to break because the brain rewires itself to expect that burst of dopamine whenever life feels overwhelming. And here's the paradox most people don't expect. Trauma doesn't always push someone toward it. Sometimes it pushes you away. Because your brain associates the act with shame, pain, or emotional overload. Both sides are real. Both matter. And both are signals from your emotional wiring, trying to communicate, warning, or protecting you. 5. When your body sends a signal. Physical symptoms often accompany emotional patterns. Anxiety, hormonal changes, or subtle neurological shifts can make something that feels natural suddenly stressful, confusing, or even painful. And when that happens, silence and shame creep in. Avoidance intensifies the weight, turning something neutral into something heavy. But this is not a flaw. It's your body and mind speaking a language that most of us haven't learned to interpret. Listening is the first step. Awareness is the second. And change can start there. 6. The part nobody wants to admit. Here's the hard truth. It brings temporary peace. But over time, the brain can start depending on it as a coping mechanism. Similar to scrolling, binge-watching, eating, or other forms of distraction. It's never about the act itself. It's about the emotion beneath it. Curiosity, stress, pain, loneliness, or simply the desire to feel something in a world that often feels numb. Once you understand this pattern, something changes. You're no longer controlled by it. You gain awareness, insight, choice. Because understanding why is always the first step toward freedom. If you want more content that helps you understand yourself, your emotions, and the psychology behind the things we never talk about, you're in the right place. For more thoughtful deep dives into stories that matter, consider subscribing and sharing this video with others who enjoy this kind of analysis. Let us know what you think in the comments. See you next time.